Cool, man. Well, thanks for stopping in. How long have you lived in Salem?
I've been here for about 11 years now. It's really hard to calculate the number, but time
Goes
just
by
flies.
fast,
Yeah,
right?
everything's just moving all the time.
Where'd you come from?
I'm originally from Swampscott,
Oh,
so
okay.
right next door, but there's so much more life in Salem and so much more diversity and just so many more things to kind of connect to. So
Interesting.
Swampscott's definitely evolving, but it's definitely in the shadow of what Salem's already kind of conquered and what they continue to bring to the area. So
And Swampscott's interesting because of the two towns that it's sandwiched in between are so culturally different
right.
from Swampscott. It's really interesting. So at one point in time, I worked in Lynn and I lived here. So, I'd pass through Swampscott on a regular.
Yeah.
Um, what brought you to Salem? Why did you come here?
Um, there's just like I said, there's just so much diversity as far as like not just even like racially, just like as far as like what people are interested in and
Yeah.
what they're open to. There's just so much kind of difference in different people and the different like group communities. And there's so much to explore. So you think you know something and then you get close to it and then there's just so much more to understand and learn about and learn from, really.
Totally. Yeah. If someone saw you walking the streets of Salem, how do they know you? What do you do out in the world?
So people know me as Ryan Mills Presents. I'm a music publisher here in Salem. I do collaborations with independent artists and established artists. I've done some collaborations. I like to consider myself as inclusive as possible, but as disruptive as possible.
Okay.
I want to kind of change the status quo of how things are in the music industry, but also kind of like not completely upset people and make them uncomfortable, but give them something they're familiar with and then tempt them to consider it in a new way. And that's through the collaborations and stuff. So
in what genres, what formats do you
I
work
try
in?
and bring in all inclusive genres because I want to I don't want anyone to feel like they can't get into what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But right now I'd say the majority is hip hop. I have a really big network in hip hop and just kind of using that to branch out to other things. But instrumentally, I want to kind of incorporate so many different styles. I have a reggae song with Mamadou. He's a reggae artist originally from Senegal that lives here in Salem.
Yeah.
And that features Acrobatic, who's a hip hop artist from Boston. He's been a legend for years, and he taught at UMass Boston. And then I have another song that's called Illuminate, and that features it's production by Jesse Cimitaro, who goes by Quill, or Jesse Joseph, or Wood and Bone. He's just got so many different styles of music. And on this one, his group Project Parallels, which is a live jazz group, and he sings kind of neo soul. So putting those two things together, and then some hip hop artists, Wordsworth from Brooklyn, he's a big hip hop artist from the 90s, and then Rex, who's a big hip hop artist from Boston. Just trying to showcase those like old school 90s styles, but then introduce like the jazz element and bring that back into music, some live instrumentation. So really trying to challenge people to like listen to the music, but also like understand that it's such a broad spectrum of what you can do and who you can incorporate and what you can really create through that experience of the music. So just continually trying to build and trying to like learn about new people in the area. The communities of Salem, as well as all over New England, have so many different artists that are just like trying to do it. They're trying to make it, and everybody kind of needs help. Everybody needs assistance. That's why this podcast is so important to kind of come in here and share my story, is because, you're just another person helping to put other people in a position to connect their story to the community. So it's a huge opportunity for me here. And I have a new song out right now called Famished. It's a hip hop song that features a artist from Lynn named Code 9 and another artist from Brooklyn named Lord Goat. He's in a group called Nonfiction. They're very political and street, but trying to bring back the late 80s, early 90s hip hop vibe of just like breakdancing and raw street stuff.
Is your background in music? Like, did you grow up playing an instrument, like in school and that kind of thing?
Not really. Like, I tried to play drums when I was a kid, and that kind of worked out a little bit. But as I got further into media, I wanted to do music videos, and I really loved video. And I went to the New England Institute of Art. It was a private school in Brookline, and shortly after like getting out of that school, they pretty much were proven to be fraudulent and like not really a real school. And they were refunding all sorts of people, but I had already paid all my loans off. So like I was kind of just at a really struggling point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved video. So I tried to like get more involved with like kind of being a consultant for people and understanding their story and then capturing their story and using that to leverage whatever they were going for.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like we're all kind of going for similar things, and it's really about trying to getting people to realize that like momentum comes from like togetherness. It's not just like one person's going to do it all.
100%.
And the more people you get involved to it, it's like a snowball. It just kind of builds up to a bigger thing. So I want to connect to as many people as possible and in many styles as possible. I'm not scared to connect to someone just because I don't understand what they're doing. I really want to uncover it all and just help propel them to reach whatever their goals are.
What's interesting, the thing that I've learned from doing this, kind of what you were saying earlier, you don't really know, like, the dude that lives next door to you could be, could be a phenomenal singer.
Right.
And you would never, ever know it unless, like, he left his window cracked while he was in the shower, and you're like, where the hell is that voice coming from? And I mean, today alone, I had a lady come through here who was a trained actress. Never would have known that. Guy come through here who worked for record labels for like 30 plus years, had like an ongoing relationship with David Bowie.
Wow.
Never would have known that. It's like you don't know who your neighbors are unless, like you were saying, like you get out and talk to them and you're like, oh, you do this? Cool. I can do that too. And here's how we can collaborate together. Right. So,
yeah. And like, so many times I've heard before is like, there's no like perfect scenario which someone is going to let you open up. You really have to step into that opportunity and find the people and be really like put yourself out there to try and make it happen, because there's no perfect scenario in which someone's going to just let it happen.
Yeah.
They need to see that you're that value, and then they open up to
and that you're serious about it too. Right. Yeah. Like you got to be serious about it. Is it tough? Because like you mentioned like Acrobatic and like Mr. Lif and like there's guys from. There is a Boston hip hop community, but it is not necessarily nationally known. It's not Queens, it's not Compton, it's not, So like what you're probably the 10,000th person to be asked this, but like what can be done to like get that music in front of people out of Boston, out of Lawrence, out of Lowell, out of Lynn, like
right. I think the biggest thing is really connecting the generations. There's such a generational gap between young people and what they perceive as quality and older people and what they perceive as quality. And over the years, like the industry doesn't care about the quality. They're going to sell you whatever it is. So they're not differentiating between what makes something really good and what makes something average. They're just like, this is it. It's all the same. And, I see people like Acrobatic and Mr. Lif and other people that have been in the industry for decades. And they're still here. They still come out and perform here, but they are internationally known. They're well established. And I don't know what pushes them to continue to put out a local product, because so many people just don't know who they are. And when I got into the collaborations, one of the reasons that I wanted to work with these established artists is like, I thought it'd be easier to reach people because these people have established a career for decades. Right. So I shouldn't have to introduce you to Wordsworth or Acrobatic, but along the way I have. And I'm learning more and more about like what the actual user is doing to like consume. A lot of people aren't even on Spotify. They consume through YouTube because it's free. And it's just like, if I wasn't going to pay for a subscription, I would go to YouTube too. It makes more sense. But now more recently, I'm thinking about like, I've been pushing so much to get people to listen to my music on Spotify. The actual listener on YouTube will pay me more than the listener on Spotify. Spotify doesn't pay anything, and YouTube pays significantly more. So if my stuff's just listed on YouTube, it doesn't look as fancy because it's YouTube, but anybody that listens on YouTube, I'm going to make more money from them listening on YouTube than Spotify or Apple Music, which is crazy. So it's definitely not a career I would recommend, but if you are passionate, anyone can make a hit. It's never been easier to self-publish than right now.
Right.
And
you can do it from your house in Salem, Massachusetts.
Right.
Like you don't have to go to.
You don't have to go. And there's all sorts of people with all sorts of experience up and down that are in a position where they're trying to publish or get stuff out. And you just kind of got to check in and see what the community is doing, because without a doubt, there'll be somebody that you can either help or that will look to help you to bring that up. And for a lot of people, it's just like testing the waters. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing. But if I work with a couple different people, we can bring something to the light and uncover it, and then have that experience to build out your own thing. So, just keep staying up with the community is what I would highly recommend. And there's no such thing as a too small of a show. You never know the impact you're going to make with whatever crowd you reach. So
100%.
It's all about the energy that you bring to the room, and it's limitless. So just step up into it.
I saw one of my favorite bands of all time play in the middle of a roller rink, like while people skated around them. One of my favorite bands, one of the weirdest situations. And like you were saying, like you never know like where it's going to click for somebody,
right?
And in my case, it was in the middle of a roller rink while people skated around them while they played. But, it stuck, 40 years later, whatever it is. What are you doing to make Salem a better place?
So to make Salem a better place, I'm always kind of checking in with local businesses. I really am kind of torn up inside with when a business comes to the community. They get all excited, we're going to open this business, and then it never opens, or it's delayed opening, or like we just don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And I don't have the experience to just like walk into a business that's before they're open and be like, hey, this is what I think you should do, and this is how you should listen to me, and this and that. But I think there needs to be more discussion about like a business is opening, they're going to spend money to open up this location. Talk to the community. Don't just think you're going to open up a business here and it's going to be successful. There's so many businesses that have opened and closed because they don't talk to the community. They don't really know what they're up against, and it's just it just turns out bad. I think that there could be a lot more of opportunities to talk to the community before you open, to make sure that you're bringing something to the community that we can actually take advantage of on like a weekly basis. So many restaurants, people come there once a month, and that's just not enough. You need people to come there on a weekly basis, make it their like destination spot, and then build that out for other experiences for visitors that tour Salem. The tourism's great, but there just needs to be more to like stimulate the locals. And I think the best way to do that is kind of build out those communications and find out, individually where people are strong, and then kind of elevate their strengths so that everybody kind of uses the city as a platform, and that everybody can kind of get a piece of that excitement. And then when tourism comes in, they can kind of distinguish between like all that value in the area and choose like the path that works best for them, but not being like, oh, I don't know what it is, or it's only this like focused tourism stuff. There's just so many individual artists and so many different things to connect to. So really continue to put yourself out there, and don't get discouraged by social media. Social media is not it. You need to get out in the community and physically interact with people. Like I'd say the best interactions are from people that actually own businesses that are trying to put themselves in a position to kind of connect to the community also, because they see that drive, they see the hunger, and they're doing it too. So like, I wouldn't get so like apprehensive about connecting to someone because they have this big business or they're well established. It's like they started where you were. They're still continuing to try and like, build an experience in the community, and they need the participation of the community. So get in there, see what they're doing, see what you can do to get involved, and at the very least help them out and learn what they're doing to, build out your own thing and capture that community in the same way.
Yeah. The social media thing, I'm so bad at it. And I realize the reason that I'm so bad at it is because I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like I'm 51 years old, not old by any stretch, but I'm definitely like, I predate social media, and like, I'll put a thing out there. I'll be like, hey, like you found, that's how you found me today. Right. I put it out there. If somebody sees it, great. If they don't see it,
what can you do?
Oh well,
right.
Like I'm here.
Don't be stressing over it. Like,
no, dude.
You put it out there. You did your thing. You put it out there for the world. It's up for me to look for leads and dig in and like find people that are actually hungry for it. There's so many things where I've tried to put people on a song where it was really important to me, but it wasn't really that important to them. And then what they deliver just never is that great.
It doesn't work. Yep.
So finding people that are as like driven as you are to go out and do the thing, whatever it is, will definitely like keep the momentum on you and not make you feel like, oh, well, you know, I'm just doing it myself. There's no one else like that. Like everybody's pushing. So
I had this conversation with Lauren, and I'm curious if the same thing happens to you as a creative person, where I'll have, and it kind of speaks to what you were just saying, this idea, and I'm like, ooh, that sounds cool. And then I'll kind of put it into motion to do the idea. And then suddenly it's a reality and it's going to happen. And it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like what have I done?
Right.
You know, like
the thing is, like, once you open that window and you have this creative thing that is powerful and it's like kind of emotionally drawing people in, you can't shut it off. It's there now. You've created this momentum. It's there, and you just kind of have to
go for the ride.
Exactly. Go for the ride. Don't think about that one. That one's done. You got to move on to that next one. You got to pivot to that next one, because like when you didn't have that piece of content, it wasn't like there was none of that feeling. It was like, I didn't have to do anything. You don't have to perform. And in the same way, like just because you have a piece of content that's performing well, your next piece of content probably will not perform as well. Like that's just like how it goes.
Yeah.
And that's no reason to feel discouraged or like feel like you can't do it again. You just keep like finding your thing, like the thing that makes you special, because there's so much content online to like consider or tap into. But like what people keep coming back to is like the personal stuff about like what makes you special. Somebody, one of my influences throughout life, has just said, like, if you get somebody emotionally attached to an idea, you can sell them on anything, because like once they're emotionally attached to who you are and what you like are bringing to the table, I don't care about what it is anymore. Like I want to hear more about you. I want to hear more about your story, and like they start being more dedicated to you as the individual versus like the big thing that you're trying to accomplish. So I hope that's what people get from me and my music too, is that like I am the person behind all this, and like it is great to have these great experiences of music, but like I need your help. Like I need the community to get involved and share more with me about like things that I could be doing, or emerging artists that I could kind of elevate into the next thing. There are quite a few of those, but at the same time, like I'm looking for people that are kind of professionally established. That way we're not like, I'm not going to put somebody that doesn't really have it together with somebody that has it like well together and has been touring all over the world for decades. It's great to have those relationships and be able to work with those people, but like if I put them on the wrong collaboration, it could just really fall apart. So
absolutely. Good. Ryan, thanks for stopping in, man. That was great.
Thank you.
Nice surprise for today.
Thanks for having me.
That was great, man.
Thank you.